Good. We have one alternative. Actually, we were lucky. We are also working on backside contact cells. This is a backside contact cell. But we make all the whole structuring at the backside with a laser. We do not use any lithography. We do not use any masking, also something like that. We can make, in future, a cell with a size of, with a length of 6 inch within 1 second in every step without any masking. At present, we are at 22% on 4 square centimeter cells. This year we scale up to 5-inch cells, and the next year we will scale up to 6-inch cells. Now we went through the production cost. Actually not we, but we gave this to people who are doing that. They analyzed the factory based on a production of, assumed production of 180 kilowatt peak in a year. They come out with 50 euro cents per watt peak for 20% efficient modules. And now if I now can take this calculation, which has very hard boundary conditions, I assume that here is 50 cents per watt peak for a cheap module, which I can really get from China, for example. And if our production cost is just the 50 cents per watt peak, we have still room when we want to sell these modules in competition to this low efficiency module. We have still room of about 8 cents, maybe not 8, but about 6 cents. This means this production with the highly efficient modules could earn money. It could survive without any premium. As an example, I give you the price of sun power modules. Sun power modules have the 20% efficiency, but they are sold for at least €1 per watt peak. They are far above here. Yeah, they are roughly here. We would produce something that is comparable to the product of sun power, but for half the price, roughly. This is an example for the fact that it's not only important to have high efficiency, but we have to consider the cost. Good, now let me continue. We plan to go into production in 2017 if somebody invests into us. So if you have about 50 million euros around and would like to build a new factory, we could be your partner, okay? Now the situation is silicon drives the photovoltaics world, and I think that in future 20% efficient modules will be standard. For that you need 22% cells. Maybe you can then also make 21% modules. This will be a standard. Assuming that one is able to produce such modules for the price that I just mentioned, then it will be possible to drive down the price for photovoltaics electricity under European conditions down to 6 euro cents per kilowatt hour. At present we are at 8. Another question is what kind of research is necessary? This has to do with the question in the past. I always said photovoltaics electricity is expensive, but it will become cheaper. And my enemies said it's too expensive. Give up that kind of research. It's complete nonsense. In the meantime, we have a different discussion in Germany. After 40 years of successful research worldwide, photovoltaics is too cheap. Coal power plants are too expensive. We have faced the problem that the operators of coal, or the owners of coal power plants, want to shut them down because they cannot earn enough money due to this bad photovoltaics electricity. They do not say that, but this is the situation. And with 6 cents per kilowatt hour, we could even compete with nuclear electricity. What to do now in research? Okay, the first is not to do it like that, yeah? For example, invent a new photovoltaic material that helps us getting photovoltaic electricity even cheaper. Come on, this is reality already now. For some people it's even too cheap. Accept the silicon reality. Future work, work on crystalline silicon modules, and now clearly above 20% efficiency. So this is, in this respect, this project here goes in the right direction. We need high quality silicon wafers, clearly thin, as thin as possible, but without losses in yield. Curveless wafering techniques like the peel-off silicon techniques. I worked on that, I gave it up, but maybe this was a wrong decision, I don't know. Certainly the 100 micron wafers are the right direction. If tandem cells on top of silicon, yes, I do not see any other material as a bottom cell than silicon. Nanosilicon, we are speaking about that. It's difficult and challenging, but it's worth it. We should look at the performance ratio of systems. We should bring them above 90%. In good photovoltaic systems, they are around 85%. Clearly, 24-hour modules, storage. We need storage, silicon-based. We are working on anodes for lithium-ion batteries, and we need clearly grid integration. And now, what I think becomes more and more important is the system maintenance and reliability issues, and I show you an example here of electroluminescence. The defects are not always visible. Fuyuki-san is here, I guess. He was the first one, he's not here, he was the first one who made electroluminescence. And here you see an example of hail damage, which we had in Germany. We had hail in the area of Stuttgart. Here it is obvious that the module is damaged. Here it's not obvious that it's damaged. This is the whole system here. You see their hail damage, but what about this module or that module or that module? You cannot see anything. If you take out all the modules and measure electroluminescence, we find this 1/3 of the modules look like that, but all others, this for example, seemed undamaged. Now if one takes it out, all of the modules and makes electroluminescence, one sees damage. You know, the cells are broken here and so on. But you have to take out all the modules. Clearly, this is not the way of working on that you take the modules out and work in the dark in electroluminescence. We invented the daylight system luminescence. We are able to measure luminescence during the day. The DAISY method, here you see that. That picture has been taken at daylight, a complete string here with an infrared camera. We can also do photoluminescence during the day, independent of the surrounding light, on mounted modules, complete strings. The people of the Solar Center Stuttgart, these two people are the main inventors. They are able to measure about 100 kilowatt per day. And you see here, for example, damage, here damage. This might be even potential induced degradation. We are able to identify potential induced degradation, poor light, low light response due to shunt resistances, damaged areas, which I showed you, groups of broken fingers, and this with a very high throughput. The system actually is sold here in Japan by NPC. Now I come to the end. My conclusions: face the reality. Don't do it like the three monkeys. Silicon is the present and the future photovoltaic material. I don't believe in these new materials because silicon is already so cheap. 10 years ago, new materials like perovskite or organic semiconductors might have had a chance, but I hardly believe that now they have a chance at this low cost of silicon. Do you want to shut down all the factories worldwide around? Nobody will do that. Too much investments. The cell efficiency, improving cell efficiencies gets harder and harder and harder and probably more expensive, and it might be too expensive. The market and the research shifts from materials to applications. Let's face it, I have to face it as a semiconductor scientist. And here we need urgently characterization techniques for these large area systems because our photovoltaics electricity is made from a series and parallel connections of millions and millions and millions of cells. We have to use our physical knowledge about cells to understand systems, and I showed you this daylight system luminescence as one example. Thank you very much for your attention, and good luck for the project. I will help as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Werner. So it's now open for questions and comments. We have 5 minutes for discussion. Is there anyone who have questions and comments, please?